Go ahead and take a comfortable seated position. Move a little, rock a little. We are focusing on balance and across these classes for the winter session. And today I'm bringing in circles and spirals and rotations, twists, in terms of, particularly in terms of your spine. So just see how your body reacts to it. Start slow and then deepen as it feels good. All right, let's go ahead and take a moment to center. We'll actually take minutes to center. So aim to get your body in a position that's comfortable, that you can stay for minutes. Use props, use blankets, experiment and invite a level pelvis and a tall spine. And as you settle in, as you feel the earth beneath you, and invite a spacious, long spine and an open heart. Yoga invites you to close the outer eye and open the inner eye. Take a few exaggerated deep breaths in through the nose, out through an open mouth. Repeating that. The open mouth is a bigger pipe to blow out, to release any stagnant energy. Do at least one more. And find your own natural rhythm and timing of breath eventually. And begin your centering practice by placing your awareness on your body. Let the body be the doorway, the gateway. As you turn your focus from outward facing to inward facing. And as we face inward, we know both science and yoga tells us that there are interoceptive connections that go between the body and the brain. And there are signals and pathways that go in the direction from body to brain. And the brain decides consciously and unconsciously whether to pursue homeostasis and balance or not. And it's largely unconscious. We know how powerful the mind is and how much it can override homeostasis. And therefore, since we know that, we can train and condition the mind to allow homeostasis or balance. And this interoceptive awareness that we cultivate, this inner eye, the pauses between movements, the primary function of interoceptive awareness is homeostasis, back to balance. In the ancient texts of the Yoga Sutras, in Sanskrit, the phrase is Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and it's translated as yoga removes the fluctuations of the mind. And to restate that in positive is the heart of yoga is a balanced state of mind. And the second phrase, the second part of that sentence in Sanskrit is Tada Dastra Svarupe Avastanam. And the translation is, then the seer abides in their own true nature. And another way to say that is so that we know who we are. Yoga removes the fluctuations of the mind. Then the seer abides in their own true nature. Simpler phrasing of that is the heart of yoga is a balanced state of mind so that we know who we are. With awareness anchored deep within, we add breath to this centering practice. I invite you to do a pranayama of the circular breath. Inhale, trace half a circle in your mind's eye. Exhale, complete the circle. The timing is yours. The size of the circle is yours to determine. Is the circle in front of the body, within the body, around the energetic channel, the sushumna of the spine? Experiment, explore, breathe in, trace half a circle. Breathe out, finish the circle. And as you repeat this, try to keep that breath continuous, unbroken. Fill up and then let go. And continue for a few more rounds of breath. Sense your balance, your homeostasis as you slow your breathing down, make it coherent. And as you finish your next exhale, you can gently release your focus on that pranayama and bring your hands to meet at your heart in Anjali Mudra. I invite you to set an intention for your practice. And we join our, I want to share this quote. This quote is from Chris Tompkins, who is a Sanskrit scholar. He said, "We are part of the cycle of circling the circular expressions of divine energy consciousness. One of the issues or challenges we have is our minds think linear, birth to death, you to me, here to there. This notion of the mind is that there are points outside of a circle. But yoga tells us that all is included in the circle. An example is sound. Sound expands the mind because every sound was meant to be a source of chakras or spinning wheels. And the sun salutations in our practice are rotating a circular expression of the divine. Yoga is circling the circular expression of divine energy consciousness. Let's invite circles, spirals, waves into our yoga practice tonight and see if it helps remove the fluctuations of the mind so that we, the seers, can abide in our own true nature. Now we join our voices. We join our energy. We lift them up and we unite them, and we begin the practice with a single chant of Om. Exhale. Inhale. Breath in, breath out. Release your mudra and take a moment just to change your position. A little rocking with long legs. pedaling of feet, bending of knees. We're going to move right into spinal extension and spinal flexion. So take a seated position, whether that is Sukhasana, whether that is a loose diamond, or whether it's best for you to have long legs. Something that supports your tall spine, and settle in and level the pelvis, and then bring an extension. Push the heart forward. Pull the shoulder blades together like a seated cow back, and then round the spine. And feel this is flexion in the spine. And then give me 3 of each at your own timing, however big, however small. Push the heart forward, draw elbows back, chin might get lift or gaze might lift. Exhale into your rounded spine. And then just enjoy one more version of that. When you've completed, bring fingertips to shoulders and elbows out wide and a few circles forward. Just easy warm up. And then slow it down and take a few circles backwards. Open up. And then bring in one at a time. And just see how this reaches down to ribs and gets into armpits and maybe even up into the trapezius above the shoulder joint. Go wherever it feels good, repeating, deepening if you want more, letting your gaze be drawn to the lifted elbow if that feels right. And then eventually we pause and we pull the elbows out wide and we're prepared to twist. So see where you get to, rise up tall, pull the belly in and twist, right? Hold here, use your legs, use your core, use your shoulders, use your elbows. And then inhale, face center. Exhale, arrive. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, twist left. Stay here for a round of breath. Use your muscles and twist to your availability at this point in the practice. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, face forward, extend the arms out wide and float down. And then let's do the bird wings from Qigong, this wave. So just bring in the wave, start with wrists and elbows and shoulders. This is your warm up. And then pause, palms still face down. Inhale only up to shoulder height. Exhale, palms turn up. Inhale, lift. And let there be softness in the joints. As you exhale, bring your fingertips to touch. Inhale, rise. If I'm going too fast or too slow, find your breath. Exhale, elbows bend, palms face down, stretch your exhale. Release your palms to the earth, and let's do that one more time. Bring in the wave. Let the wave really be from shoulders out to fingertips and then back in. Crick, crick, crack. Those are our joints getting some synovial fluid in, or at least mine. Release, but keep palms facing down. Inhale, arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, turn the palms up like you're floating. Maybe you close your eyes because you know what's coming as we inhale, rise. Exhale, bring your fingertips to touch. When you're ready for that inhale, stretch up tall. Little up and then lovely long exhale with hands near the body, elbows bent, really combing through your own energy field, releasing what you no longer need to the earth and shaking it off. Okay, and now I've got a really fun side bend flow. So see how this feels, follow along and just respond to this. Reach your left arm out wide left, and then bring your right hand to the earth and flow the left arm overhead, and then come on right back up. Reach the left arm left with a little bend in the spine, and then as if energy is pulling you to the right, set the right hand down and flow the left arm overhead. And then rotate the torso, top shoulder comes down towards the right knee, and come forward and stop when you're in front of your hips. So spine rising out of hips straight forward, and then walk yourself back. Put your right hand on the earth to draw the left hand up high and come upright and let go. And then other side, reach and lean right, but place left hand on the earth and let this right arm just fall over, and then rise up, reach again, just bowing and bending, feel it in your spine, set the left hand down, flow the right arm up and over. And then draw the right shoulder towards the left knee, rotating down, and then walking yourself to the midline. Stretch out long, wherever you get to is fine. And then walk yourself back to the left. And draw the right arm up and draw the whole body up until you're upright. And then I want to deepen it just one more level. So just fall right. The left arm flows up. Top left shoulder pulls towards right knee. And then you're invited to walk all the way over to the left knee. And stretch, side bend, keep hips on the floor. And lower and rest here. So wherever you get to, rest, round, side bend, breathe. Finish the exhale you're on, and then you're going to walk forward wherever hip muscles allow, low back muscles allow, inner groins allow, until you are in a side bend to the right. Draw the left arm up and let that arm just like pull you upright like a dancer. Your daughter would love this. And then lean left, drape the right arm over to the left and experience this opening. Maybe you can start to come onto the elbow. See where you get to. Draw the right shoulder towards the left knee and just gently begin to lower yourself. You're on spider tip fingers. You're in a forward fold, and you walk yourself to the center until you walk yourself to the right knee. Wherever you get to is fine. And lower yourself down to a side bend, a forward fold, and breathe. All right. And now we walk ourselves back until you find yourself in a side bend to the left. Draw the right arm up and let that just pull your whole body upright until you're sitting upright, hands on thighs, eyes inward, interoceptive awareness. Breath in, breath out. And now bring in the S curve of the spine. So push ribs one way, shoulders lag, head lags, and then go the other way. You could close your eyes if you want. Your hips stay on the ground, your legs stay active, and you just see where you get to. It's the S curve of the spine, lateral, and I'm going to bring that into our table pose, and I'm going to bring it into other movements. A wave. Okay, and then come upright. And now, remembering the S curve of the spine, send the arms out wide and do a wave. So arms are sort of lagging behind one another because movement is going from one fingertips through the spine out through the other arm. So bring this in and try your best to make it fluid. When we sometimes do this movement, if we haven't done it before, instead of feeling like a line, a solid line or a wave, it feels like a dash. It feels like it's a line with dashes. And that's okay. Fake it till we make it. All right. And then you can let go and release these bent knees and come into table. Maybe you have a blanket underneath your knees. When you arrive to table, I'm going to invite you right into hip circles. So your toes might be tucked or the tops of the feet might be on the earth, but I want you to come into hip circles that start small and go off to one side, skirt the heels and come up the other side. Doesn't matter which way. As you repeat, can you make your circle bigger? Can you involve shoulders and head and neck, which go the opposite way of the hips? Almost like you're tracing a figure 8. So see how that works for you. Hips do one loop and the neck and shoulders do the top loop. You can almost feel that S curve of the spine. And now eventually I'm going to ask you to slow down, pause, and start with hip circles going the other direction. And make this what your body loves. However big, however small, whatever timing. And once you have the hip circles established, then you can add in shoulders going the opposite way of hips. You even can bring shoulders forward of wrists to trace that upper loop. And then the hips trace the other loop. And just see what's available. And wake the spine up. And hydrate the spine, get blood flowing. All right. And then when you've had your fill, meet me in neutral table, tuck your toes, and we're gonna lift right up to downward facing dog. Arrive to this shape, this triangle shape, and warm your body up. So walk the dog, lift and lower heels, bend your knees. You know what you love. Your body will often signal what needs attention right now. The hips could sway. You might bring a little freedom into the neck with a yes and a no, and a shake of the head. And then here comes the fun part. We're gonna do a snake dog. And so instead of a lateral S curve of the spine, I'm gonna ask you to make a wave vertical from head to toes. So start by bending your knees. Start by just trying to make a wave in your legs as heels go down and the knees bend. And then you're trying to just make that go further up through the spine. So do your best. And if there's a dash or it doesn't look like a wave, who cares? You're getting great extension and flexion of many different joints, from heels to hips to spine to shoulders to neck. All right, when you've done that and you feel like you've given it a good try, let's walk your feet slightly forward and wide. And then lift your heels, point your tailbone up, bend your knees, and bring the ribs close to the thighs. How does this feel? You are trying to lengthen through the spine. If you need to step feet, or if you need to readjust to get more length in your spine, you press your shoulders away from the earth, your hips go back towards your heels. You might lift and lower your heels, but you're aiming for beautiful, lovely, long, lengthening side body, lengthening spine, lengthening neck. Okay, you can release and put heels on the earth. And I'd like you to step wide with your heels in and your toes out as you walk your hands now towards your feet. And now I want you to roll your spine up. So very slowly. Head is the last thing that comes up. There's your spinal flexion. As you rise, go slow. We don't want any dizziness. And as you rise, you're upright. And then I want you to do the reverse down spinal flow, cow back. So bent knees, push the heart forward, head comes later. Come on down with bent knees until you're in like a similar forward fold, and then roll the spine up. I'd like to invite 3 to 5 of these. So rolling, head comes last, stand upright, and then push heart forward. Spinal extension, bend the knees. Go down, just see what shape your body takes. Spinal flexion. Your hands can be heavy. All right, and you really kind of get a feel for it. Is 3 enough? Push the heart forward. This is like a standing cow back. When you have reached the floor, you rise back up. You make this spinal wave. And you see how it feels. And eventually you come upright. And once you're upright, give everything a little shake. And shake those ankles loose. Try to make the ankles dangle out of the hip. Try to shake it loose. Try to do the same with your wrists. Just shake out your shoulders. Even shimmy your shoulders. Good. And then I'm going to put you right into a balance pose. And this balance pose is a moving balance pose. Set your right foot down, toes forward. Lift your left knee bent up. If your balance is challenged, you might know where the big toe can tap. If all is well, you could lift that left knee up at the height of the hips. Right arm forward, left arm back. Stay here in the lower body, but switch the arms. Set your eyes level to the ground on a spot on the wall. Flex that left foot to pull into the hips, squeeze your glutes, and then you might be able to extend the arms higher as you challenge your balance with movement, with the movement that we walk with. And so you do a couple of these, and this is something you can change the variables of. You could go faster with the arms, you could go less. Eventually everybody, let's go. set down, and let's do the slide and glide left and right. So it's a little bit wide, redistributing work to both legs, hydrating the joint, especially of the standing legs. The joints of the standing leg. All right, and then come back. Let's do other side. Broad left foot. Feel long and strong and pull right up into the hip, into the core. Light on the right foot. Tap the toe or lift it high. Flex the foot if it's lifted off the ground. Left arm forward, right arm back. And start small. It's like scissoring the arms. Establish your strength. Feel centered. We're working on balance. Where's your center and where are you willing to explore the periphery? And if you're already, if you feel wobbling ankles, great. That's you strengthening your ankle. And if you start to go wildly swinging with your arms, you'll start to notice how everything gets challenged. Fall out, come right back in. Any variation, the speed, the tempo, the lift of the leg, and eventually you let go. And this is a great thing to do at home. Shake everything out, shake everything loose. And now temple mudra. So find mountain pose. Find the mountain pose you love. Remember, there are different traditions who suggest different foundation. Perhaps the feet are parallel, about inner hips with distance apart. Some traditions teach the toes touching and the heels about an inch apart, and some traditions, like Kriya, teach the V. So what do you love? What makes you feel stable? I like this one. Find what you love. Lift the front body like a whole sheet, and then root down through the back body like really strong. Weight in your heels, and inhale, lift your arms up for Urdhva Stasana. Reach up tall. Feel the strength of the lower body and feel the elasticity in the upper body. Eyes lift, lovely alignment, head over heart, over hips, and then bring the hands together, temple mudra, bottom three fingers interlaced, index finger and thumb point, up. Now take yourself in a side bend. Firmly connected feet, strong legs, strong hips, elastic side body. Big breath in, big breath out, stay. Good, inhale up and take yourself to the left and plan to stay here. Really just plan to explore the breath here. You have moved away from your center. You're exploring the periphery. Big breath in. Feel the right side of the body open. Big breath out. Exhale, pull belly to spine. Inhale, rise, eyes lift, hands go behind the plane of the spine and bend forward and exhale down. Land at the heart and pause. Breath in. Full breath out. That interoceptive awareness, the signals, the pathways for homeostasis. Release and check in with your mountain pose now. No squeezing. No effort, no mental activity. Your body takes the shape of the mountain without effort right after a pose that requires your balance and your concentration. Give everything a shake. Give everything a wiggle. And let's do the sun salutation and make the circle. Sense the circle of sun salutations, how we begin, what we repeat, and how we end. Blocks might be at the front of your mat. We're still warming up. Take these poses to the place where it feels good in your body. Find your mountain pose. Broaden your feet, lift your toes, set them down, lift the front sheet of the body up and root down through the back body and inhale, arms out and up. Look up, Urdhva Stasana. Stretch up a little taller. Take an extra sip of breath. Exhale, bow. As you bow, you might bend your knees, but keep the spine lovely and long. Come into Uttanasana, forward fold, and then lift the spine a touch so that you can straighten your legs, your arms, your neck, your back. Exhale, back, down, touch blocks. Right foot steps back, straight leg lunge. Lower the hips towards the earth, and then lift the hips. And feel this is a warm-up for joints. Lower hips, lift hips. One more round. Good. And then let's see, I wanted to do, it's a cobra. So we're good here. Straight leg lunge, remove the blocks, step back, downward facing dog, and breathe. If you still need warm-up, Take any movement you like to warm up. Another round of breath. Maybe you think of the circular breath. Lengthening the spine, stretching the backs of the legs. Good. On your next inhale, shift forward to plank. Hug to the midline. Now you know your center. Use everything you've got. Push your heels away, broaden your shoulders, pull front body to back body. Keep the neck in the same trajectory as the spine. Big breath in, and we'll prepare to lower. Lower the body to the earth, elbows close to ribs. You could do half plank if needed. And it's here that I add into the sun salutation the cobra. Lengthen and press the legs long and the tops of the feet into the earth. Elbows hug the ribs, hands frame the heart. Inhale, lift up. Maybe it's baby cobra, or maybe your back is warmed up and you want to lengthen your arms. The exhale, take you down. And I want to flow between here. Inhales lift you up. Take it to what your back likes. Exhale, lower down. 3 more. Inhale, rise. As your back starts to wake up, your exhales release you. Take the back bend to what you love. Move the hands to support you. If you want to come into upward facing dog. Last one. Good. And exhale down and snake. Come, bring those hands, interlace them on your sacrum. Extend your arms and lift your upper body. Lift up where you can. Pull shoulder blades together. One more breath. Exhale, release. Woo-hoo. Hands frame the heart. Take a breath here, whether your forehead's resting or your cheek is resting. Full breath out. And then tuck your toes. Inhale to table. And exhale right up to downward facing dog. And stay. Stay in the triangular shape. Pull the breath in. Send the breath out. And do it again. Lengthening the spine. Push hips up and back. Push heels down. Good. When you finish the breath you're on, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, bring it forward. Pull it to ribs, step it forward. Maybe you find the blocks, maybe you don't need them. Lift and lower your hips. This slide and glide, this warm up for the other side. About 3. Okay. Find stillness. Bend the back knee, press off back foot, joins front foot, feel the circle. You're back in your forward fold. Press down through feet and inhale, rise. Lift up, look up, stretch up, hands meet. Exhale down the midline and stay. Stay here with hands at your heart. Take that extra breath in, feel your center. Feel that cleansing exhale. And release. And shake. And wiggle. And let's do sun breaths, just the traditional yogic sun breaths. Feet on the earth. Inhale, arms out, trace the circle. On your exhale, expand out. Just see this as opening up the heart chakra from fingertips right into the heart. Inhale, we often think of the front of the heart, but why don't, as we repeat these, think of opening the back heart and the sides. Repeating, inhale, and the skyline of the heart, letting light in. And while we're at it, open the floor of the heart, all around. One more. Tracing circles, exhale, lower. Good, and now in the studio, step wide, facing the middle of the room. We're coming into a sequence of goddess poses, so heels in, toes out, knees bent. We'll start with long legs, but I want you to bend the knees and see that your feet are they're in a wide enough stance to support however low you want to bring your hips. If your feet are too close and knees go forward of ankles, you're going to hurt yourself. All right, so just bend and straighten a few times. And then let's go ahead and add in the bend in the knees for spinal suspension. Hands slide down, push the tailbone back like you're a third base umpire. So tall spine, broad heart, and we're going to twist. So this is a forward fold and a twist. Bend at the elbows, deepen your forward fold, draw left shoulder to the center of the knees and look to the right shoulder and hold and breathe. You should feel supported here with the balance of your hips back and your upper body forward and your hands on your knees. One more breath cycle, please. Exhale fully. Inhale, release and untwist to center, straight arms. And then we go again. Bend at the elbows, deepen your forward fold, rotate the spine, right shoulder towards the center of the knees, look to the left, and give me 3 breaths. Let it feel good. Be in the right position. If it's too much, loosen it. And if it's not deep enough, you bend your knees deeper. Your hands control the amount of twist in the spine. When you finish that third exhale, inhale back to center and straighten your arms and lift yourself up, straighten your legs. And I'm bringing a new mudra, Lotus Mudra. Start at Anjali Mudra, pull middle 3 fingers apart like a flower. Lift this up over your head. And you have a choice here now. You might lift and have it right over the crown of your head. You might prefer long arms. We're going to flow in bent knees and through goddess. And if that binds your shoulders and it's not right for you, take it to release the mudra. So find the variation of where the mudra is. Pull the belly in. Your spine goes up and down, not back on this one. So tailbone goes down. Go into your deepest knee bend. Inhale, rise, your eyes might lift. Stretch your arms if that's available. Exhale, deep hips towards your tailbone, towards the earth. Feel your spine vertical, maintain that. Come back down. Maybe you lift your eyes as you extend. And this last one, I'll get you to hold. Exhale. If this mudra isn't for you, let it go and focus on your upright spine, your strong legs, your knees in just the right position over your ankles to keep them safe. Draw to your midline, pull inner thighs in, lift a pelvic floor up. Feel that just be aligned right up your center. One more breath. And then inhale, rise, and release and let go. From this same position, I'm going to invite you to flow side to side to take the shape of extended side angle. Slightly different from the traditional extended side angle because one foot will be angled back. So just make this more of a flow rather than your fullest expression. So it's something like this. The one arm sweeps and makes a circle, and then the other arm and takes you side to side. So almost like a lunge. But if at any point your knees don't feel comfortable, then go less, okay? So this one forearm comes to the bent thigh, the other arm sweeps around, and you switch and shift your weight. Okay, let's see if we can try it. We can start with long legs, crisscross the wrist, release the right forearm to the right thigh as you extend the left leg long and left arm sweeps over the left ear. And then stand up, crisscross wrists, lean to the left, extend the right leg long, the right arm over the right ear. Come on up. I'd like to do about 3 to each side. I invite you to kind of take your own variation of a flow, especially given this back foot position. You're not staying very long. You are keeping both feet on the earth. Bringing in waves. When you've done about 3 to each side, you can stand up tall. And bring yourself back together with a heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. And as you stand with feet under hips, let's weave yourself back together with the Celtic weave. Wrists crossed, Celtic weave is like the infinity sign or the figure 8 lying on its side. Your loops are your own size. The speed and tempo of the repetition is your choosing, and you might lift it up overhead and bring it back down. Weaving left and right, closing and knitting yourself up until you release and give everything a good shake now. Shake, maybe you get those ankles to dangle out of hips, encouraging the hips to be less rigid. Maybe you can shake the wrists out of shoulders. Shimmy the shoulders while you're at it. Okay, let's do chair pose. So let's do asymmetric, feet lined up. Maybe you like a block. The block could be between the thighs, between the knees, or between the calves. What do you need assistance with? What do you need with helping your foundation? Feet broad foundation, legs strong, zip up, root down, and then inhale, float arms up, bend knees, and push hips back. And feel this pose. You should be able to look down and see your big toes. Pull your belly in, lift your heart up. Feel the cow back, but you don't quite get there because you pulled the belly in and you lifted the heart up. Those are two constraining oppositional pulls. So you open the heart, pull the shoulder blades together, and now we press down to rise up. And we'll go again. Big lengthening, big sip of breath. Exhale, chair pose. Pull the belly in first, lift the heart up second, and see if that helps support your beautiful diagonal line of the spine. One more breath, please. As you finish that exhale, I now want you to release the pose and lengthen the legs and bring yourself into a forward fold. And just check in with the backs of the legs. They should be warming up now, inviting length. And then I want you to have one more restful breath, and then we're going to do chair pose twist. So finish that exhale, slow the heart rate down, and then from your forward fold, send your hips back, find chair pose, and you might start with Anjali Mudra, hands at the heart in chair pose, and then invite right elbow to left knee, hands stack upon one another, elbows stack upon one another, and you twist and look left. Release, Anjali Mudra, face forward, and then invite left elbow to right knee, stack hands and elbows, twist in the spine, and release, Anjali Mudra, release, chair pose, rise. Look up, stretch up, hands release. Come down, release and maintain the block, but not a whole lot of squeezing. Let go of your intention for mountain pose and just see where's my head in relation to my heart after that movement. Good, and then let go. Block can be released. And we'll do now a sequence of lateral poses. So step wide, face the midline. Take your widest stance. Know that it's your widest stance by using your own bent wrists as a gauge, like a plumb line drops to the ankles. Take your front foot forward. So I'll talk about your front foot and your back foot. Bend and straighten the front leg. That way everybody's different facing, but same forward face at least. All right, take the bend, keep the bend. Move the back foot if you're not, if your ankle goes farther than your knee. And then commit your hips, your heart, and your head to be in alignment, and reinforce that with your hands. Rising up through the center line, rise up tall. Exhale, windmill out, find warrior two, pull shoulder blades together. As you establish your center line, head over heart over pelvis. Now I want you to lean forward and explore the periphery. Come back to the midline and then go backwards. Know where to return to center. Flip palms up, flip palms down. One more, and let's alternate. Front palm down, back palm up, reverse, reverse, reverse one more time and revolve the warrior. See, this is an opening for that, the front ribs, the side of the body of the bent knee. Open. Release, revolved warrior, come back to warrior two. Draw your shoulder blades together. Big breath in. Transition to extended side angle. Draw half of a circle with that top arm towards the ear. Look up. Stretch, open. From back heel to top fingertips. Big breath in. Big breath out, stay. Good. Release into triangle. So stretch and straighten that front leg. Lean towards that long front leg. Top arm straight up, gaze might look up. And then let's all of us dial the top arm down towards the hip and turn the palm backwards and bring the back of the hand to the sacrum and pull the elbow back and open the heart. Gaze might return and look up or look straight forward. Open heart. Release that top arm, bend the front knee, rise. Come on up, release, feet parallel, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. When you come back, check into your mountain pose. Eyes inward, easy breath, no muscle activation. Where's my head in relation to my hips? Big breath in and out. Invite that Celtic weave. Crossing the wrists, palms rotate up and down, loose and fluid, infinity sign or a figure eight line on its side. Let it rise and come back down to hips and go all over again on the other side, step wide. And now your other foot. Out to 90, bend and straighten your front leg. Take the bend and decide if you're in the right position to keep your hips, heart, and head in alignment. Reinforce that center line. Know where your center is. Rise up, trace up, exhale, wide. Look out over your front fingertips. Feel the twist in your neck. Feel the rotation in your rib cage. Stabilize your hips. Strengthen here. So sink hips towards the earth, but you are opening across the chest, pulling shoulder blades together. Let's work with the hands. Both palms up, both palms down. And then rotate, front palm up, back palm down. Alternate. And one more. Until you land with the front palm up and revolve your warrior. Feel this is that side body opening. Go to where it pleases your body. Your gaze can lift or stay level to the ground and eventually float back to warrior two. Moving with intention, feeling the extension, the length, the maximum opening, and yet gliding between. Take a breath in. Exhale, front forearm to front knee. Dial top arm to top ear. Half circle with the intention to open. Where do you feel it? Open the front heart, open the back heart, open the sides of the heart. Big breath in. Big breath out. All right. Let's transition to triangle. So straighten that front leg and slide your hand to wherever it meets the knee, the calf, the shin, the floor, the block. Find triangle. Aim to have extra length between the front hip and the front armpit. All right, top arm goes up to 12 o'clock, goes down to the hip, palm faces behind you, back of the hand to the sacrum, draw the elbow back, draw the heart open, gaze might look up or look level. Big breath in, big breath out. A little bend to the front knee, a release of the hand as you come on back up. Make that sort of starfish, feet come parallel. And release. Heel toe. Take your time. Know that we're working with the hips when we do this. Heel toe. As you stand, check in with mountain pose. Interoceptive awareness, signals and pathway in the direction of body to brain. Does your brain choose homeostasis? Make the conditions right for that choice. Reinforce that choice. Big breath in. Big breath out. Give everything a little shake. And let's move into a balance pose, which we'll explore a little leaning. So it'll be traditional tree pose with this Hakini mudra of 10 fingertips and thumbs touching, possibly placed index finger to where the collarbones almost meet, thumbs to where the heart is, into your tree pose of any position for your single leg balance, and then a lean to the bent knee. And so you're coming away from your center of balance, you're leaning towards, not the anchor leg, you're leaning away from your anchor. You might think, I'll lean, but I'll lean with my arms supporting me, which is fine. Your arms could be in traditional branches and lean. You could lean in temple mudra, and you could lean with this mudra anywhere, at the heart, at the forehead, overhead. So I'd like you to take some of that inspiration and choose the one that works for you. Right foot on the earth, light on the left. Choose the position of your tree pose. If you choose the higher lift of the thigh, just make sure it's not on the knee. You might find tree pose and set your eyes and get established before you ever lean. So find your drishti. Keep the drishti as you tilt your weight away from your center of gravity. Whatever you have chosen, I invite you to lean towards the bent knee. It could be millimeters. It could be just a touch of the head. The head is 10 to 12 pounds. So you take any of that, in any tilt, you will be wobbling in that ankle, and that's wobbling is you strengthening. Lean, breathe, adjust the variables because you're the scientist and the guinea pig, and then bring yourself upright. Let go of the single leg balance, and let's bring in hip circles as our eraser. Hip circles, you could put hands on hips, you could step wide. These hip circles could be small or large. Go both ways. And then think about what you want to do on the other side. I'm going to lift my mudra up this time and go over. If you fall out, you try again. Left foot on the earth, spread out the toes, light on the right. Knee opens, hip opens, come into the single leg balance that you choose and put some tension there. Press the bent leg foot into the standing leg. Lift up into it, and perhaps a traditional tree pose. So set your drishti and establish some breath. And when you feel stable and steady and aligned, that's when you might choose a mudra and start to tweak the variable of where the weight is in relation to your anchor. And your nervous system truly is now making decisions, safe, not safe. And breathe and hold. Eventually we come out, come upright and release. And again, I invite that mountain pose. Close the outer eye, open the inner eye, and check where is my head in relation to my hips. Where is my weight in the feet? Am I in the balls of the feet? Am I in the heels of the feet? It's not that there's a right or wrong answer. It's what stabilizes you. Big breath in, mountain pose, no effort. Big breath out. And give everything a little shake. Let's do some twisting too, some easy in-between twisting. I'll also get you to cross. So once you've done that, bring those arms forward, bring your feet a little bit more in alignment with hips, and just start the crossing, the alternating of the wrists. Eventually invite the arms to go farther back and feel this. Feel what happens for the openness in the front body and then the contraction, and vice versa on the back body as you might slow down the crossing. All right, and then slow down. And let's just do our rehash of the single leg arm swinging. So right foot down, left knee will lift a little bit or a lot. Right arm forward, left arm back. Set your gaze. When you're ready, begin the movement. It's like scissoring arms. As you feel steady, your arms might go higher or faster in the switched position. But just sense your balance, your anchor, your line down the middle. When you've done several, you can release. Come back onto 2 feet. A little marching will clear that out. And then we'll do the other side. Set the foot down. Do you notice is one side better balanced than the other? Right knee lifts, left arm forward. Set your gaze, set your drishti. Begin to move. And it's good to start small and then increase the challenge. Increasing the tempo and the span of movement. Excellent. Feel your center getting stronger. The more you do this, the more you repeat, and eventually you can let go. Let go and march. And then I would like to take you into another sun salutation and to bring in some more circling. Maybe you use blocks, maybe you don't. Find your Tadasana, mountain pose at the front of your mat. Let's rock. Let's keep the feet on the earth, but lean forward, lean backward. A great exercise in balance. Qigong calls this bamboo in the wind. So you don't go very far. Your nervous system stops you, and you go forward, backward, left, right. And as everything is well, you might make small circles. And just feel muscles activate, feel sheets of muscles activate. Good. All right. Stand steady. Find stillness in your mountain. Call to mind your intention. Inhale, rise. Urdhva. Turn the palms away. Exhale, bow. Long spine. Uttanasana. Crown of the head down. Inhale halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Lengthen legs and spine. Exhale, come back down to the earth. This time, left foot steps back, straight leg lunge. Sink the hips. And we're going to immediately go into a twist to the right knee. So perhaps your left hand is on a block or on the earth. Your right hand comes to right knee. You twist the spine towards the right and lift the right arm up as you hug to the midline. And from here, can we take that top arm and make a circle back behind you and then in front of you? Whatever the shoulder allows. When you've done about 3 of those, you can release and revolve the spine to now frame the front foot. From here, I'm going to transition you to extended side angle to the other side. So press the back of the foot, heel, the back left foot, heel down to the ground. Keep the right knee bent. Perhaps you bring right forearm to the right bent knee. And then let's just sweep the left arm in front of your face. And maybe go all the way back to the left hip and then dial it, the top arm back to the left ear. As you breathe in, open up the other side of the body. Breathe out, stay here. Good. And then inhale, revolve the chest. So that now hands frame the front foot, blocks are removed, and step back for downward facing dog. And rest. Take that triangle pose, slow your heart rate down, and do you feel this pose as a rest pose? Eyes on your big toes, point the tailbone up, deepen this pose by drawing heels towards the earth. One more breath cycle. On your next inhale, shift forward to plank and use everything you've got to be long and strong, centered, balanced. Breath in, lower the body to the earth. Half plank or full plank, keep the elbows close to ribs. Release down. Prepare for a back bend of your choice. Inhale, rise. Open the back as much as you like. Exhale down. Release and meet in downward facing dog. You might come up through table or come up through a plank. Feel your hips lift. You feel you circling back to this pose as you just catch your breath, as you Bring the body into stillness. One more breath cycle. And now inhale the left leg up, long behind you, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, pull it to the ribs, step it forward. Straight leg lunge. We're going to twist to the left bent knee. Hands, right hand on the earth or on a block, left hand on the left knee. Twist the torso and lift the right arm. If all is well, take that arm behind you and in front of you to make a circle, whatever the shoulder allows. About 3. When you've completed those, take the arm down, frame the feet, and then spin the back right foot to prepare yourself for extended side angle. Are your feet in the right place? As you bring left forearm to left thigh, sweep the right arm in front of you. Make that half circle, bringing that arm to your right hip, and then trace it back up to the right ear. Change your gaze to look up or open up. Big breath in. And let the exhale help you revolve the chest, spin to the ball of the back foot, frame the front foot, and bend the back knee. Step forward to Uttanasana. And stay here for an extra breath. Perhaps your hands bind behind your knees or your calves. Deepen in your forward fold, bringing your ribs closer to your thighs. Feel the inversion. And then release. And prepare to rise. Feet, legs, core, upper body. Length, vertical, hands meet. Exhale down. Take a breath in. Release your hands. Let go of effort and find your effortless mountain pose. Where's my head? In relation to my hips, eyes inward. Feel that alignment. Receive that as a gift of your movement and your intention. Big breath in and out. And give everything a little shake and a wiggle. And I'd like to transition you to seated poses with Prasarda Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. You might face the midline. If you like something to bend down towards and touch, if you don't reach the ground, you could put that block in front of you. Remembering the position of the feet now, not like goddess pose. Your feet are parallel and even slightly pigeon-toed to protect and support you as you go down. Fingertips at the hip crease. Tall spine, big breath in. Exhale, point the tailbone back. Lower the drawbridge of the spine. When the spine is horizontal, release hands underneath shoulders. And then release down. You can bring a bend to the knees if those muscles are tight. Just let your body now be like a magnet that is pulling toward the earth, supported by these strong legs, and the muscles in between are lengthening. Just go where it feels good. This is a transition pose. You could, if you find the freedom, to let the head dangle out of the neck. All right, when you've had your fun, now I want to bring in this bend of the knees. So bend the knees, push the sit bones back. Perhaps hands come up to knees like a grasshopper. And just see how this pose feels. If it doesn't feel good, you pass and find your own variation of your wide-legged favorite, wide-legged forward fold. Shift your weight to each ankle, like a gentle lunge. If you want the fullest expression and you want to straighten the leg, you do that, but otherwise you're just invited to do a little lunge. And eventually we come back toward the midline. Release hands from knees, add some length to legs, and prepare to rise. Use your muscles, use your legs, use your strong core. Lift up tall, reach up, fingertips touch, eyes might look up. Arms go out wide, tracing that circle. And when you're down, heel toe. And take your seat. Take your seat with a blanket, because some of the poses we do will bring you into a forward fold. And the idea is that you sit on the edge of that rolled blanket and come into Dandasana. Long legs, heels pressed down, toes pulled towards you. Use your hands, fists to straighten your spine and feel like you're making an L. Pull your belly in, lift your spine up, lengthen your legs. Legs don't have to be poker straight, but your heels are active and your toes are pulling towards you. Let's lift the hands up now and bring yourself into a forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Feel the drawbridge of the spine, arms lower. Try to keep that vision in your mind, like a drawbridge of the spine. So therefore your spine doesn't bow or bend. Your arms are long, like the ropes. Your feet are very active and you reach the fullest expression of the pose with a straight spine. And then you allow the rounding. See how different it is? Bow into Paschimottanasana now. Active legs, active heels. Just go where you get to with this rounded spine, this flexion spine. And then gradually begin to lift yourself up and come into Janu Shirsasana with the right knee bent, right foot at the left thigh. And you're going to rotate your torso towards the right bent knee. Put your left hand on the inside of your left leg. Lift up tall through the right arm and slide left hand down the inside of the left leg, and you go into a side bend. Heart open towards the right bent knee. And you just arc that top arm wherever it gets to. And then rise up. Rise up. Untwist yourself. And in this position, we can't help but get into wild things. So right hand goes behind you, press down through right knee. The left leg is already long. And reach behind you, open. Take the opening to the degree that you love and sit yourself back down. Isn't that a nice way to end? Switch sides, we're going to repeat Dandasana, Paschimottanasana, and Janu Shirsasana on the other side. Long legs. Hands frame and help you with your tall spine. Legs support you, heels down, toes pulling towards your shins. Then release your arms to rise up. Pull the belly in. Keep the drawbridge of the spine and arms long, square shoulders and long neck, and just see where you get to. Breath in. Keep spine long. Feel the challenge to the muscles. Feel the active legs, active feet. All right, then let go. Round, bow, flexion in the spine. Keep active through feet and legs. And then rise. And Janu Shirsasana left. Your hips are just on the edge of your folded blanket. This hip is tighter for me, so you need something to push into if your hips are tight. Press down through your foundation. Inhale, lift up and twist towards your left bent knee. Lower the right hand inside of the right leg and feel yourself in a side bend. Feel your heart tilting towards the bent knee of the left side and arc that top arm, soft, rounded. Like you're just pouring yourself into the right leg. And then release, rise up. Those arms can lift, face forward. Remove any props that are in the way and take yourself into wild thing with left hand behind you. Reaching and opening an open, beautiful, willing expression. Feel that in the back and then let it go. Unwind. And now we come down to our backs. And as you come down to your back, have the props that you love for your Shavasana at hand. So if you use a bolster, put it at the lower third of your mat. If you use a rolled blanket, have it down past your knees. If you like socks or if you like any warmth, you might put those on now. And then slowly release your body to rest and be supported on your back with bent knees, arms at your side, palms up, constructive rest. I'll turn some lights down. And just breathe. Bending those knees for constructive rest. This is a restorative pose, feet on the earth. Become aware of your hands. Arms are at your side. If your palms are not turned up, turn the palms up and sense that is you conditioning your chest to stay open, the pectoral muscles of the chest. I've heard meditation defined as habituation to openness. Well, we could use that phrase in yoga. Position of hands and position of feet. Seems like such a small habit to begin to bring into our lives, but it can have such a profound effect on an open chest, which allows better breathing. So breathe fully here. Finish the exhale you're on. And let's draw both bent knees to the chest. Bind the knees or the shins and rock back and forth, and let the eyes track with your knees side to side. Good. And then stay here with these flexed knees. Unless it doesn't feel good, you can put your feet on the earth. As I invite you to do eye circles. So just the eyeballs, you have a much bigger chance of success in not moving the head, in only moving the eyeballs now that you're on your back and your head is on the earth. So take your eyeballs to 12 o'clock. You could close your eyes. Take them up as high as you can, but the chin doesn't move. Then take them over to 3 o'clock, farthest corner of the eye, and then down to 6 o'clock, looking at the nose if your eyes were open, and then to the other side, 9 o'clock. And then now that you have the clock face, trace the clock face, go slow 3 times clockwise direction. They say something like 80% of the stress in the body is held in the eyes related to the optic nerve that cascades and feeds into the neck and the spinal column. Slow your circling down and prepare to go the opposite way. Get the biggest movement that your eyes allow without pain. Nothing, never move into pain. We've done about 3. Release the eyes, and let's do Apanasana. Interlace your hands on your right bent knee, flex your right foot, extend your left leg long, and keep it active by keeping it inches above the ground, flexed foot. Pull in the right knee as you push the left heel out, and then switch sides. Flexed feet, the biggest oppositional pull that you can manage, especially activating it by pushing the right heel away. Good. And then let's release and bend both knees and push both feet up to the ceiling. And lengthen the legs as much as you can. Push the heels up to the ceiling and add ankle circles. And go the other way. Good. And now let's scissor. So take the arms out to the side, palms down. And I want you to take right long leg toward your body and left long leg away. The smaller the scissors, the more you can control. The bigger the difference between the 2 legs is, the more challenging. And I want you to switch. We did this with our arms. Now we're doing it with our legs. You control the amount, and I'd like you to do about 5 times. See the range of movement you've got in your hips. Excellent. And end with legs long and feet toward the ceiling.
And now I want to invite you to lower legs and take the shape of the next pose. So as your legs are lowering, turn the soles of the feet toward one another. The knees begin to bend. You slowly lower into Supta Baddha Konasana. So knees have a good bend in them. You bring the soles of the feet now down, touching and down to the earth, a hip opening. And I'll come around if the thighs need support with blocks underneath them. I can come around since I didn't tell you to have them ready. Or you might allow the weight of the legs. Anybody need help with supportive blocks? You could allow the weight of the legs to open. You got that. The hips, you could support it. Your arms are at your side, palms up. I'm going to have you stay here in this restorative pose and breathe. So if at any point your hips are asking for more support, you could lift your hand and I'll find you. And I do invite, as you breathe here, a change now to goddess arms. And sense what that does to your rib cage, to your chest, to your shoulders, while the hips are opening. Maybe you bring in that circular breath. And one last option is to add a little length and extension to arms, for the arms to either frame your ears or fingertips to lightly touch. It's just more of an opening through armpits, rib cage, chest, shoulders. You might say, I was just good back where we started with arms around the waist. So find what you love. And you begin in a restorative pose to just trust the earth beneath you and trust your breath as you invite the great unwinding. That's a phrase that's common through many different ancient energy traditions. Great unwinding. Enjoy one more breath cycle here in this pose. As you complete that exhale, begin to lower your arms. And perhaps those hands even support the outer thighs to point the knees up and release this pose. Feel free to draw bent knees towards the body and pull yourself in and even rock side to side. I'd like to do a single leg supine twist to end the practice. So put your feet on the earth, draw the bent knee towards the chest, let the left hand touch the right bent knee as you extend the left leg long, and then draw. Left hand just pulls, draws the right bent knee over to the left, your back right arm. Experiment, explore. Perhaps you draw it towards your sacrum, or perhaps you draw a half circle up toward the ear. You could look toward the right shoulder as well. And eventually that right arm has to go in a place that supports you to untwist. Come back onto two hips, two shoulder blades, set the right foot down. Bend the left knee, maybe lift both hips to realign. Set hips down, Draw the left bent knee to the chest, extend the right leg long. Right hand reaches across to grab left bent knee. Left arm goes out to stabilize you as you pull the left bent knee over to the right. And then experiment or explore with that back arm. Dial the left arm toward the sacrum as long as shoulder gives consent. Draw the left arm up to the ear and then land in a place that your shoulder agrees to. Gaze looking left. Breathe. You're going to have to place the left arm somewhere suitable to allow yourself to untwist. Come back onto 2 hips and 2 shoulders. Bend the knees, lift the hips lightly. And then if there's any other movement, one other thing, whatever your body is looking for that it didn't quite get, listen to what your body needs. Take your body in that movement or position. And then when you're ready, you release the body into Shavasana. And perhaps these props help you. Something underneath knees is a good support to your low back. Warmth, socks, a jacket. You set the right conditions for you to let go. And this pose of Shavasana is practicing one of the 8 limbs of yoga, or pratyahara. Turning the senses inward. Reflecting back to our centering. And this turning the gaze inward. Placing your boat of awareness on this inward flowing energy consciousness. For as sure as our energy goes out, it also comes back in. With the spirit of willingness, you allow yourself to be carried effortlessly within, to return back to balance, homeostasis, and the way you were designed.
With each strike of the bell, sense the rings of sound that expand and fill the room. And then you're invited to breathe in a little deeper and trace half a circle. And exhale and complete the circle. You might let that flow right into another circle. And you just bring in enough breath and life force that allows you to bring circles to wrists and then to ankles. And then allow movement of bigger muscles and bigger joints in any way, shape, or form that helps you release your stillness. Press your props away. And then you'll be invited to transition to seated. If you want, follow along with this method of bending your knees, rolling your body to one side, and pausing there. Perhaps a bent elbow supports the head, or a blanket or a block. You're in the fetal position with knees bent, curling in, allowing this in between rest and between rising, to imprint the peace of the practice. Calling to mind your intention here. Weave it into this balance, this homeostasis, and then using arms, press yourself up. Use any prop that helps support your upright spine, keeping that inner eye alive, attuned, and awake. Bring hands to meet at the heart in Anjali Mudra. And I repeat just a part of the quote from Chris Tompkins. We are part of the cycle of circling the circular expression of divine energy consciousness. May yoga help us sense and feel into the full wisdom of the body. And may this practice, which focused on circles, help us start to see circular movement in our everyday life, and circles in our breath, and circles in the shapes that surround us, or the circle of the earth that we live upon. And that confers the blessings of all the multiple meanings of the symbol of circles. Continuity, where all are equal, none is higher or lower. Now we join our voices, we join our energy, we seal the practice with the circular sound of Om, with the circular shape of our mouth. Exhale, inhale. Om. Big inhale, big exhale. And let's lift our thumbs to the third eye for clear seeing of the light that we share. Namaste. Namaste. And you might turn to your neighbor and bow to their light. Namaste.